Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I'm walking to the Heavyweight Factory. I don't know how many miles this is, but this is a long ass walk. I'm tired, and I still got probably about a mile and a half to walk. But hey, these are the things we do in the name of getting content for the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy whatever I get today at the gym. But I wanted to talk about something interesting because, you know, Naoya the Monster Inoue, he recently won in sensational fashion against Emmanuel Rodriguez. You know, and Emmanuel Rodriguez was an undefeated world champion in his prime. Emmanuel Rodriguez was a very well decorated amateur. He was 171-11 as an amateur, very good amateur, and a lot of people regard him as the best fighter, you know, talent-wise in Puerto Rico right now. And Inoue just took him and made him look like a trash fighter, like he'd never been in the ring before. Just dominated him, just reduced him to a nothing fighter, and that's when you know that you know you're operating at another level right now. And when we talk about Inoue, you know, ever since he moved up to bantamweight, you know, he's had 3 fights and he's boxed 4 rounds. So he's been knocking out world-class opposition in a round, maybe 2 max, and it's probably been one of the most dominant of all the fighters fighting right now. If you look at the pound for pound list, like Crawford, Lomachenko, you know, all these guys, his run is probably like the most impressive as far as the eye test goes, because of who he's fighting and how he's beating these guys. But I wanted to pose this question because he stopped Juan Carlos Payano in the first round of this tournament in like 17 seconds. He stopped what's his name, Rodriguez, in like 5 minutes and like 30-something seconds, whatever it was. So roughly he's boxed about, combined in the World Boxing Super Series, he's boxed about just under 6 minutes, right? Which would give him, you know, about 4 minutes and some change to knock someone out within 10 minutes over the course of 3 fights. So the question I wanted to ask was, is it possible that Naoya Inoue could literally win the World Boxing Super Series in 10 minutes? I mean, he's gonna have to stop Nonito Donaire at a certain time in the fight to do that, but I mean, he can logically do that. He can logically win the whole World Boxing Super Series in 10 minutes, and wouldn't that be something? So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, he's got a legitimate chance to win the whole tournament in 10 minutes. 10 minutes over the course of 3 fights. You know, just dominant stuff. Probably one of the most fun fighters to watch in boxing right now. And if you're not following him because you don't like watching the smaller weight classes, I would highly suggest that you either go back and watch his old fights or tune into whenever he fights Donaire in the final, because this guy's special, man. He's a special fighter, a great fighter to watch. And I think right now in boxing, you know, there's a lot of great fighters. Like, we talk about Lomachenko, we talk about Usyk, we talk about Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Wilder, Terrence Crawford, and all these great fighters. I feel like this guy's gonna go down as an all-time great. Like, I really think this guy has a chance to become the greatest fighter his country's ever seen, because he's phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing on the boxing this guy can't do. You know, you want to see counterpunching, he does counterpunching. You want to see jabs, he's got a jab. You want to see defense and fancy shoulder movements and where he's slipping punches, he's got that. You want to see one-punch knockouts, he does that too. So, you know, this guy ticks all the boxes. And you know, I was reading an article yesterday from Steve Kim. You know, big shout out to Steve Kim, somebody I respect greatly in the sport of boxing. You know, a really good writer. I watch his podcast. You know, big shout out to Steve Kim. But Steve Kim wrote an article on ESPN, because, you know, that's where he's at now. He's not on boxing team anymore. He's writing articles for ESPN now. And Steve Kim, God dang, that motorcycle was quick. Never mind, I'm not crossing the street. I'm not crossing the street. These people are crazy. But Steve Kim wrote an article basically detailing, you know, Naoya the Monster Inoue and why he believes that he is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter. And he made some very valid points. And I'll be honest with you, you know, if he's not pound-for-pound #1, I mean, I personally wouldn't have pound-for-pound #1 yet, but damn, he makes a great case for #2 or #3, at least above the likes of Crawford, Lomachenko, and Canelo. And yeah, I know to some of you guys that might sound crazy, but you got to really consider what this guy's been doing in his career. I mean, in his fifth professional fight, he beat Ryuichi Taguchi, who would go on to become a unified world champion at 108. And that was like in his 5th professional fight. Then he fought Omar Narvaez and became a world champion at 115, and then then he got to bantamweight. He beat Jamie McDonald, who's been undefeated for like 10 years, stopped him in a round. Beat Juan Carlos Payano, a guy who's never been stopped before. Multiple-time world champion. Stopped him in like 17 seconds. And then his last fight, he fought an undefeated, prime, young champion, and beat him knocked him out in 2 rounds, and looked like just the most sensational thing on the planet. So he's, and the crazy thing is his last 6 fights, Inoue, just so you guys know, his last 6 fights, Naoya the Monster Inoue has stopped, the guys he stopped have never been stopped previous to fighting him. So like, I know that run includes, it was Jan Boyo, Jamie McDonald, Manuel Rodriguez, what's the other guy's name? Payano. I can't think of all the names right now because I'm walking. I don't have it in front of me, but those are like 4 of the names I can memorize. But I'm saying he's taking these guys who are world-class fighters and he's stopping them in a round. And whether or not someone is a world-class fighter or not, it's always impressive when, and this even applies to when you knock out a journeyman or you stop a journeyman. Whenever you can stop someone for the first time, that's something that's always impressive. And the last 6 guys he's fought had never been stopped before, and when he fought those 6 guys, he stopped them all. And in most cases, he stopped them within 1 to 3 rounds in dominant and sensational fashion. So, I mean, in terms of the eye test, in terms of the wow factor, this kid is special, absolutely special. Is he pound for pound number 1? I wouldn't say so. For me personally, I would probably have. I still put Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk is still my pound for pound number 1 fighter just because of his resume. And how he went undisputed in such little fights, along with the resume. But I mean, this guy right here makes a great case. I mean, for me, I could definitely see Naoya the Monster Inoue having a legitimate case to be pound for pound over the likes of Canelo, over the likes of Terrence Crawford, over the likes of Lomachenko. And I know a lot of you guys are going to hear that, and you're going to go in the comments, especially you guys who aren't as familiar with the smaller weight classes. But I mean, this guy is literally destroying everything in his path, and it's absolutely insane. In some ways, because I remember people used to say, "Oh, BT, if he would have fought Chocolatito, he would have destroyed Chocolatito." And I used to say, "Hell no, that's not gonna happen." But sometimes I watch this guy fight, I said, "Damn, maybe it's the best thing in the world that Roman didn't fight him in 2016, because Roman was just hitting that part of his career where he was in a decline, and Inoue has been getting better every fight. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. If it would have happened in 2014, 2015. It would have been a great fight then, but 2016, a bit iffy about that one. But I still wish I could have seen them 2 fight, because I'm a massive Chocolatito fan, and I've grown to love Inoue as well over the years, covering him here on True School Sports. But I mean, yeah, just there's not a damn thing in the ring this kid can't do. And he said recently in another article I read that he plans on boxing for another 10 years, and he wants to go up as high as featherweight. So he wants to finish his career at 126. So if that happens, let's just say Inoue, for however long he's in the game, let's say he wins world titles in all the weight classes. We're talking about he won a world title at 108, he won a world title at 115, he won a world title at 118, then he'll have to go up to 122, and then he can finish it at 126. And I think he's still maturing, he's still growing into his body, and it's not even just that. He knows how to get incredible leverage on his power punches, and when you possess that kind of skill, you're a dangerous fighter. And I think his skills will translate as he goes up in weight. Whether or not his power carries up as he goes up in weight, that's remains to be seen. But I still think there's some filling out to do. His body starts to fill out a little bit more as he goes up in weight. But yeah, I have no doubt in my mind this guy will be a 5-division champion, and I think he's got a legitimate chance to be the greatest fighter his country's ever seen. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about him again because I mean, I'm just in awe of his performance. And Chael Sonnen said that he has a legitimate chance to win the tournament in 10 minutes, and I said, damn, he does have a chance to win a tournament in 10 minutes over the course of 3 fights, because he knocked out Payano in 17 seconds, he knocked out Rodriguez in like 5 minutes or something. So he's got to knock Donaire out early, which I think is going to be a bit of a tall task, because Donaire is a world-class fighter. Donaire is another level to what he's been fighting in this tournament. But I'm just really excited for him, and I think he's got a chance to be a superstar. He should be a superstar, and he's someone that every boxing fan should be tuned into what he's doing, because just he gives you your money's worth. Just the same way I talk about Deontay Wilder and him giving you your money because he knocks people out. Same thing with this kid. Absolutely special. So that's my video on Inoue. Steve Kim wrote an article on him being pound king. He's got a legitimate claim to it. You know, and I feel like right now with Inoue, we're in the middle of one of those magical runs we see in boxing. Like, if you guys remember when Pacquiao was, you know, in 08, 09, when Pacquiao was beating like Joshua Clottey and Cotto and Margarito and all these guys, like, I think it's gonna be one of those kind of runs. So sit back, enjoy the show. Big shout out to Inoue. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff. And like I say in every single video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just Kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.